Nice big stun coming in from Zazawi, but that is it. Only one, and that is it. I don't think there's more. And you're great champions.
Look at the glee, look at the joy. He's finally broken the curse. The shouts of true victory.
It's mine.
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 Welcome back to Mavericks, welcome back to the VS game, welcome back to the High School Esports League, guys.
Yes.
We are on the grand final, we're on the last day, the last game, and it's been intense. So we're going to have a rematch from yesterday, right?
Yep, we're going to have a rematch, St. Benedicts versus Paul Roos. These guys went into like 4 rounds of overtime yesterday, remember?
Both 2 maps, right? First map was overtime, second map was double OT, so it was pretty intense, but things might change today. It's a different day, it's a different dollar.
Yeah, these guys have been fighting all year to be on the stage here in this final. So we want to see who's going to come out on top. It's going to be quite interesting to see. Surely some good CS coming out here.
Definitely. I mean, looking at yesterday's performance for both teams, it was pretty close and both teams hitting good shots, making good decisions. The teamwork was somewhat on point. So definitely an improvement from yesterday is expected from both teams. And I mean, it is all for pride, it is all for the medals, but at the end of the day, the school hall, the assembly, they're going to be announcing who's the best, and you would definitely want to hear your name in this. So
definitely.
A lot on the line for these two teams.
A lot on the line, and just looking back, I saw the bracket up there, so looking back at the bracket, if we can go back, friends, to there, I mean, just have a look at the road that these guys took to come here. I think St. Benedict's beating Parklands to get into the final. I can't remember. I didn't note to see there which team Paul Roos did. But looking at this, these guys have fought, as I said, hard to be here this whole weekend. And the teams getting ready in the booth, I think we're close to getting the veto started. But if I can just say, the two standout players for me from the St. Benedict side were definitely God's Not Dead and Prawn from yesterday.
Agreed.
Those guys were hitting shots like crazy.
Exactly, and we do expect that to happen once again. But we do have to look at the vetoes. We do have to look at maps I'll be playing. I don't expect Nuke to be in contention yet at all. Maybe Vertigo, perhaps. Well, I mean, that was played twice. We've seen it twice. And they're not just Vertigo, the new Vertigo. So you can imagine some players might be caught off guard, but might be prepped. They've had a day to rest. They've had tonight, or last night, not tonight. To actually go over some demos and prepare for that map if need be. But I do expect the Puggy maps, the Dust 2s, your Mirage, your Infernos to come out, because most teams are acquaintance with those maps and they know quite well. The Angs are the most important part, and if you know the Angs, you know the Angs. Yeah,
these are maps that these players always, if you're playing MM, if you're playing Face It, these are maps that always come out. Mirage, Inferno, Dust.
Agreed.
You play so much on the maps that, like you said, the angles are there. They almost become second nature depending on how much you play the maps. If you're putting the hours in, you're going to get the rewards.
Again, and we all know the 10,000 professional hour mark. I'm sitting on 9,000, so I almost got it up professional. Yeah,
I'm about halfway away.
What? No way. Surely you've been playing Counter-Strike for years. Well, CS:GO mostly.
CS:GO mostly. I mean, I started in Source, was there. But COD 4 was there, so...
Yeah, yes. You're betraying us, don't you dare swear.
At least I came back to the good side.
Is it? Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, everyone comes back to the good side. We've seen a lot of COD players jump the fence a little. And it's nice to see that we need more and more teams prospering in this esports market. In the high school teams, there's a lot of them. There were plus minus 60 teams who actually qualify, or, were in contention to qualify for this LAN, and unfortunately only 8 made it through, which is kind of nice to see that it's growing bigger and bigger, and it's going to the grassroots, to the schools.
So it looks like we have the veto.
All right, how's the veto looking?
So the veto looks like it's going to be Mirage, Dust 2 and Inferno.
Mirage, Dust 2 and Inferno.
Yeah.
The ones we spoke about, the Puggy maps, the one we all know and love. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just my only part is I like to see the detail within the maps they play, the details within not only the structure but the utility usage. Yes. I want to see the individual brilliance break out through a late round, and I hope it's not too much of a brawl. It's not too much of a pug game, and they are able to learn from the mistakes yesterday and come through with it today.
You want to see your support players there with the flashes for your entries, making sure that it's safe, making sure that your support players are trading your entries out, making like that for me is the biggest thing, where especially with newer teams, where you're making sure that you're there for the trades, you're double peaking, you're making sure that you're there with your teammates to get the kill.
Agreed. Trading and spacing, name of the
Trading
game.
and spacing, that is it.
We all know it. We sing it day to day. We think it in our dreams.
I think we're getting quite close to going live though. So, first map is going to be Infi.
Do you know who's playing what side there?
I can have a look.
I mean, with these maps, side isn't really too detrimental. I mean, the CT side is obviously majority of the times the better side to be on. It's a better start. It's easier to play at first. You bank up those rounds and you just rely on your attack. But some teams do prefer the T side and rely on momentum. But that is very far and few.
St. Benny's are starting on the T side?
T side.
Yeah, I didn't quite see it there, but if I look to the screen down there, I think I see that.
Nice. Well, again,
we'll see when we start though.
Yeah, but like I said, again, it's not really that important in terms of the sides. More so Inferno, I'd say it's important to be in the CT side to just set the pace. It's one of those maps where you can go 10-5, you can go 9-6. The players having a hell of a good time there, enjoying themselves with the camera. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, and I love it.
You love it.
I definitely love it.
I mean, I remember seeing you in the booth doing almost the same things. Just not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was last year. I mean, I did hang up the mouse. End of last year. Pick up the mic, and there we go. And it's been a year, and I enjoyed playing. I enjoyed the atmosphere, enjoyed the environment. I tell you what I did enjoy, but I did enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's just, putting that 8 hours a day, and sometimes it doesn't pay off, and sometimes it does, and the highs and lows are too much for my chest. Pulling on those heartstrings.
You guys were in the finals.
Yeah, we were in the finals. We lost to Energy. It was intense. It was a dumpster show, and it was horrible. I don't want to relive that moment.
I remember. No, I wasn't casting the game. I casted you guys that weekend.
Yeah, I think it
was
the
lower bracket final. Me and Isolf did the lower bracket final.
We didn't lose a single game that whole tournament until the final, actually. So,
you guys went through unbeaten until the final, and it was like, oh,
how crazy is that, dude? We had such a good run, and then it just fell short. 2-0, we lost 2-0. We didn't even get a map there.
You did.
And then once again, we lost this year again in the final to the same team, right? Energy Esports.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
it was quite the rematch.
It was quite the rematch. It was a better stance now. I got to third map. It was a bit more competitive than last year. It was a lot,
but this scene, if we talk a bit about the pro scene in SA, it's the closest. This year was the closest it's been in a very, very long time. I mean, we've never had a top, 4, arguably 5 teams that can compete with each other, and that's exactly what it was this year.
And it was all due to, I think, from January till up until now, the whole, not only the roster shuffles, 2 players leaving overseas, that left a wide gap for teams to catch up to Energy at that point, and it just became an even playing field. And that's nice, right? Because, it's gonna trickle down to Paul Roos and St. Benedicts. Freeze time is about to count down. We are entering the pistol round of our grand final, ladies and gentlemen.
We are getting going here. Paul Roos versus St. Benedicts. We are in it. Pistol round is about to go live. 4 seconds left. So I'm excited. On Inferno, we see St. Benedict starting CT. Paul Roos starting T side.
Indeed, and you can see Kit and the grenade picked up on Goat. Quite important. Double flash onto Fit Sean. And they're heading towards the B side. They're going to barrel on the B side. CT smoke's probably already gone down. The flashes are about to pounce. Have been thrown already, but they're not as effective. And Savage picks up the first kill and Fetch Sean deleting the second. And that's the B bomb side busted wide open.
Yeah, Fetzian doing some work there on the entries. Again, we saw him yesterday in the same game doing a lot of work. So God's not dead with the USB. He's going to try and get something done here. Not finding the headshots he wants. The peaks are coming through. And Electrics gets 2, and there's Savage with the closing kill. Paul Roos pick up the first map of this grand final.
The convincing first round as well, looking at all the headshots, how many people didn't die on their side, how actually poised they were and how they entered that site. And it was very clean entry into the sites. No one really took that much damage. The flashes, I didn't see how effective they were, but I'm assuming they did work or created space or, created that sense of security that they could be blind for them to give more confidence to peek in. But we do see a deco upgrade coming out from St. Benedict's. Some grenades down the middle doing quite a bit of damage, but not enough, putting them into, I was about to say, a one-shot headshot from an M4, but they don't have those.
They don't have those yet, no. The Deagle, that's just going to do some work anyways with the one-taps. We saw yesterday how effective both of these teams were. God's not dead, and I think it was who was it on the other side? Or Electrics. There's one already from God's Not Dead. Fetzian trades that out immediately. 3v4 going into the upper echelons or later echelons of this game. The goat with the deagle doesn't find one. Fetzian is there with the AK.
He tried his best. He tried his best, but his best clearly wasn't enough. And I do think if they're able to get some rifles into their hands and save it into the next round, it could be nice.
Ooh,
Prawn doesn't get traded up, but it's a lovely headshot onto Senor Gerald, and Savage cleans up the last player. And that's 2 rounds on the board. Not a bad start at all.
Not a bad start. I want to see St. Benny's eco one more here. They haven't got enough money to buy, and I don't want to see the same forces, the same mistakes that we were seeing yesterday. Maybe just a couple of, maybe another deco, get some nades, toss them down mid, see if you can do some damage, and there we go. Yeah, 3 nades, P250s have been bought up, and God's Not Dead saving for that AWP, so he's not going to pick up a pistol.
I'm quite surprised that I don't see any flashbangs. You don't want to flashbang with matches, and you can just have some nice set pieces or flashbangs, like the top banana take, a middle take, and try to get some guns into your hands that way. But we do see them all barreling up middle. Paul Roos, there's no one at home just yet, and there's one player, but he is about to get found out by Electric. Gets taken down, and I do think this is going to be a clean round for them if they don't really overextend. Maybe send out that Mac 10 to farm up some cash dollar.
Yeah, they have the information that it's a save, so I think St. Benny's, they're probably going to push through. They want to try and get at least some damage done, I feel. There's no point in giving money away to that Mac 10 either. But at the end of the day, you're looking at going, you've got 4 pistols going against a fully bought up. And it's not like it's Deagles or anything where you can just hold a long angle. It is a P250. And there's one already, Fetzian trading or getting those 2 kills. There's a third for him as well. They're just going to clean this up. Yeah, I'd like to see the player with the Mac 10 just push up and get this kill. But Fetzian, he's going to clear out and get the 4 for himself in that round. 3-0. The first buy round will come out. God's Not Dead. He's on that op. We saw how effective he was on that earlier.
Yeah, I got a feeling Paul Roos, they're playing, I mean, it's only been 3 rounds, but they're very convincing 3 rounds at that. And they can, compound on that and just keep rolling with it, keep that steam train going.
Yep.
Things might sit well for them. It's a CT-sided map, so I do think, 9-6-10-5 is okay.
Yeah.
Favor towards the CT side, so St. Benedicts have to get back into this. They'll have a neutral defense 3 at B, so it does suggest a banana hold or expecting a banana burst, but it's not happening. 3 players is crawling up towards the apartments. Paul Roos doing the early round protocols, mulling apartments, making sure there can't be any aggressors there. But, I mean, they have to take middle, or if they do a straight bulk burst.
I would have liked to see St. Benedict's take a little bit more banana control, use some of their util just to take that effectively.
Agreed.
Because then you're getting that information. At the moment, they're still holding 2B. If they had some aggression onto banana, they could have already foreseen that this A push was incoming and rotated one player earlier, making it a 4-stack on A. But here the execute or the breach does come through, and a little bit slow. Has it down. He's got that nade primed and ready, waiting to throw it. He will toss it in, not doing as much damage as he wanted it to, though. 50 seconds left, and these players from Paul Roos are going to have to start making a move. There comes the late util. That is great.
That's great util usage, but it's at the, you want to get that molly down in the 30-second mark and just jiggle peek, use your flashes to push them off. But the first kill comes on Fetzian onto the player in library, and the push is coming in short. The shots are landing left, right, and center in the favor of Paul Roos, and a lovely entry is down to the retake. And again, I did want that molly to be used a bit more timeously. It was a great molly, but at the same time, it was at the 40-second mark, and you can always reset and re-engage into that site in terms of Paul Roos. Now they face the 2v4, and they can't really retake this, so I'd like to see them get out of dodge, just save those guns and fight another day. Good entries nonetheless. I mean, they got the first kill, and they just snowballed from there.
It's what I was speaking about earlier. The trades are coming through. They're playing effectively as a team. But we saw this yesterday as well. They push as 5. They relinquishing a bit of map control to do it, but it's working for them, and they're getting the rounds on the board. The first buy round goes the way of Paul Roos, and that's going to force St. Benedict's onto another very, very weak buy.
Agreed. And not only that, yesterday we saw the common theme throughout the best of 3 series was the team who had the least mistakes on the CT side won. Both teams had a decent T side. Both teams netted majority of the rounds on the T side, and it just begs the question to be asked is, how much work has been done on the CT side? How much teamwork is actually incorporated on the CT side? But we'll find that out shortly. As we can see, banana take. I mean, not a banana take. I mean, they got destroyed with the grenades, but Bet Sean, the lovely peek behind that Molotov nets up that first kill, and Prawn putting down that smoke to buy him some time in terms of rotations. And we do see
The sound cues have come out that they were rotating though, but this is a bit of an overextension here from St. Benedict's. You see that they're rotating almost all 4 players left alive to that B bomb side, except for one, Jin here with the AUG just holding that angle. But Paul Roos being a little bit indecisive here.
Agreed, and you know, a lot of high-level teams, a lot of pro teams, what they do is exactly what St. Benedict's are doing. Just skew majority of your players towards that B side. Leave one in A with the position to actually fall back and save that gun if need be. If they go B, you're definitely winning. If they go A, you still have those 3 guns to fight another day. Yeah. Because you know they do have a wishy-washy buy. Actually, no buy at all. Just upgraded pistols, 2 guns, and the players were actually saved. They have utility, so. I hope they left the player with we got the AUG there, but he's an AUG nade. If he can pick up 2 kills here and fall off into the site, that would be great. But the AWP is posting them up, poised and ready, and that's definitely a call. They're going to call a save, but they're actually going towards the site. The bomb is going towards that B site, so they fall straight into the trap. This is exactly what you want. They go picking up a gun. The B goes and they fall back into the site, and if the bomb is in a peculiar place like it is now, things could look dicey. If Go can just get a bit closer and work with the Hazer Dam, it could quite nicely, and he's bobbing left and right, and close but no cigar. Valiant attempt at that. It wasn't too bad at all. It was close. I thought they could have won it if things went their way, if the stars did align for them.
I think if they had guns on the side of St. Benedict's, they would have had a lot. That hold would have actually worked. But I just want to go back to what you said. I like what they did. They're incorporating a lot of teamwork into their CT side, which is really nice to see. Now the double AWP setup coming up, which is, for me, it's very strong on Inferno. Indeed. You have this mid AWP, and then hopefully the other AWP is going towards the B side. Just to be a little bit aggressive. It is. They're getting decimated by those nades mid every time.
The utility usage is on point right now from St. Benedict. So much damage done to Banana, but have a look what's happening in CT spawn. Have a look at the library. They behind enemy lance fetch. Sean, he doesn't go into library, but there's an AWP poised and posting him.
Yep.
He's in 13 HP. So again, with that AWP, low HP, you can do whatever you want because it's just a one-shot kill. You don't have to rely on a spray down or a perfect control of the spray down. The last 2 players left on Paul Roos, Electrics and Savage. A lot of work to do, but they have time on their hands. Find out which side is easier to head towards or hedge their bets towards.
I think this 2-2 hold here from St. Benedict's is going to work out quite well. The bomb it is at the bottom of Banana. I don't like how slow they're playing this because they still have a lot of util to work with. 3 flashes and a molly. You can definitely molly molly first oranges, get Hazardan out of this position, and then push onto side. Oh, that timing though. The shot will come through. Prawn, he needs to be good for one here.
Yeah, he definitely needs. Not necessarily. Okay, I was looking at the rotations on the minimap to say that. So right now he kind of has to be good for one due to the rotation, all the double back to the A side. He's going to wait it out and perfectly placed Molotov. He's going to have to move his position, and the sound cues from the scope is definitely being called out. And you can see the rotations coming in, but he has to land these shots. It's important for him to at least get one of, and that's a lovely shot. They're 10 seconds on the clock, so this is a bit too dicey for them. There we go, the bomber's down. He's in good shot, Savage. Now we go, the time has expired. He's just get out of there. Don't really die after time. No.
Was that after time? It was after time, eh?
It was after time.
That's unfortunate.
But he has bank. I mean, 15k. They won 5 rounds in a row. It's not too bad. It's not too dire. Shvetshon's sitting on 11 kills for 1, so he's doing a lot of work. He's doing the majority of the work.
He is. And the buy is going to come through again for St. Benedict's, but they need to string some rounds together. Otherwise, the economy is going to be in shatters. They just need to string 1 or 2 more rounds so that they have that safety net in there, so that if they do lose a round, then they still have that safety net of being able to buy again. But at this point, the double AWP setup's costing them a lot. And it's working for them, but it's still a very, very large investment to make. And if you lose a round with that, unfortunately, it's going to come down to if you're able to save the AWPs, then fine, sure. But if you're not able to save with the electrics, hitting shots like that as well.
Call that the prawn peak.
The prawn peak. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun at all. And it's a lovely entry, but they have to work off this. I think it's slow it down. There's only one guy on this A side, but obviously they don't know that. It's all a matter of time now.
The sound cue surely coming in from that scoping there. I like how slow they're playing this because again, this is going to cause indecision on the St. Benedict's lineup. They're gonna worry about that B execute, especially with that one player roaming around there. And I was just about to say, if Fetzian gets one here, it's going to cause a rotation. But at the moment, St. Benedict's just holding their line. Hazardan's going to get into aggressive. No, switches at the wrong time.
Oh, and he gets flanked. Savage takes out. God's not dead. So God's not dead. He did the right thing, right? Man disadvantage. You need to be just prodding and probing. Okay, what are smokes?
What are
even?
smokes?
Okay, but man disadvantage, right? You have to try even up the odds. You have to go for that trade frag, and he did the right thing, picking towards Ducky there just to clear out middle, which he did do. But his team, he just needed to be more patient in sight or pit, not overextend and try to get that gun on Palace, which he had no information about as to where enemies could be. It's a bit dicey, especially if you lost a man there.
Having the MP9 that he did, he could have also held small pit and just as they were jumping down said, okay, well, there you go, have a mag in your face, you're going to die. Trade up and get something. But patience is key here. It always has been in CS. Prawn, hopefully he's going to be able to keep this AWP alive. St. Benedicts are going to be able to put a wishy-washy buy together. They should buy here, though, around the AWP.
Yeah, okay, they can't fight for the economy anymore, so even buying is a bit dicey, so I understand if they just save it for the next round, actually. Personally, I don't know, I'd definitely force behind that AWP, but that's just me. There's about 10 different ways to play a situation like this. Actually, 2 force or don't force, so. But whatever, at least they got some utility to work with, some grenades, try to do some damage as we go, 3 down in the middle, and they're trusting God's Not Dead and Banana to solo this hole, and he picks up a lovely kill there. Oh, he definitely wanted that, but Savage takes him out. He definitely wanted to survive that and get that pick. Even if he missed a shot, he needed to survive, and they can't even recycle that AWP, and that's one of my biggest problems with soloing the site with one of the guns. It's irrecyclable, right?
Yeah,
you can't really get to it, and the next guy can't, have his value with it or have his chance, but Jin...
with that, Deagle gets a second one.
He has all the chances in the world to land more kills. He's picked up the AK. Does he save it? Does he not? So he's a Molly, probably Molly Dark, Molly Family. There we go. He Molly's something.
First oranges looks like.
Yeah, because I think he tried to Molly through the smoke there because this is behind the smoke there and this is a 2v2, so I don't mind them going for this. They will have money next round. Needs it down. So 1v1 and Prawn, the bomb. It's ticking faster and faster. How do they go about this? Does he get the defuse? Let me have a look here. I have no sound. It's 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. He got it. He got it.
He's got it. Okay.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I like it.
Team up for a round to actually take it back, and they did. They won the round, so it's 2-6. Second one on the board there for St. Benedicts. And Jin definitely coming out there for his team, winning them that round.
And Paul Roos, they made a mistake, but those are those high-level mistakes you make. Those are the mistakes where you're like, okay, I didn't realize. I mean, sometimes you know a bad play and you go for it, but sometimes you don't know about that bad play. They had 2 plays in backstage, so they set up that bait and switch there, but the bait and switch got broken by that Deagle, and now, I mean, there's a full buy in both teams, 5 kits, which is a bit audacious. You definitely don't need 5 kits.
Especially if you're investing so much into your weaponry, like the double AWP. I think buying, 5 kits, buying head armor, you're playing against AKs. You know that it's going to be, if you get hit in the head, you're going to die. So there's no point in buying that head armor. They could have saved a lot of economy there as well, I feel. But these are, these are small mistakes that we were talking about that Paul Roos could definitely capitalize on. Because if they win this round, we have another save coming in from Paul Roos, and that's the double AWP. If it's working, look, God's Not Dead. Prawn. He's doing work with the AWP. He gets a second.
What a fadeaway shot there.
Oh my word.
You could see he wanted a repeat there. You could see he wants to keep contesting, and he keeps getting these fadeaway shots, but so far nothing's landing just yet. Dan Hazer, it's taken down by PC Boy, and he's being patient, so he's just waiting for a little bit of an extension, but Prawn takes him out there, and the Archers, and it's down to Senor Harold with a smoke and a Molotov, and I mean, you've got 30 seconds, and they know exactly where he is, so I mean, I definitely think you should save.
Or try
have money for the next round, so maybe do some damage to the economy, maybe get 1 or 2 kills, maybe.
I think so. Try and get at least one of the AWPs out of the hands there of somebody being over-aggressive, but look at how patient St. Benedicts are being. They're not pushing, they're not being aggressive. I actually like this because of their economy and how they're working it with the double AWP. I like the way that they're playing this. They're being very passive, they're not over-peaking. I think it's very good. Although, God's Not Dead. No, okay, good. There we go. Tac pause coming out here from Paul Roos. I like it, breaking some momentum. 2 rounds in a row. Maybe they want to chat about if they want to buy here, if they want to save. That's always a good conversation to have.
Agreed. And what's going right for them at the moment is they're winning early rounds, right? Every round they're getting map control a bit quicker, and apps and Banana sometimes they're taking damage, so that previous round they did shy away from it. But they are winning the early round engagements in terms of map control and pushing the CTs back to a more neutral flatline defense. But it just comes harder than they get the AWP. Spawn can't be keep re-peeking again. It kills like that without a trade, so they're staying a bit closer together and using more util to flush them out into precarious positions. Could work out for them. So perhaps that was part of their discussions in the freeze time. But that is over, and 2 AWPs.
Yeah, I think this is becoming the stock standard here, default for St. Benedicts on the CT side. They've been playing this double AWP exclusively on their buy rounds, so definitely feeling comfortable. It's working for them. They've picked up the 2 rounds in a row since they've been able to use it. But this is the thing, Paul Roos's util is on point. They're flushing the AWPers out of those positions, giving themselves space to work with, because now the boost is going to come out. God's not dead, he does not see it in time.
That's the B-side open. Do you think they're going to capitalize on that?
I think they need to go now. The bomb's far away. They're falling back. They've got the pick. They've pulled all the rotations through. Who's that prawn? Okay, he's now moving back towards the A side. I was just about to say, over rotations, it's okay to commit to an over rotation, I feel, but you have to commit everyone and then play for the retake. If you gamble and don't get the information that they're coming to side, then you still have those 4 players left with the guns to try and take the retake, which is great. But again, A side on Inferno is notorious. I think a little bit. B side on Inferno is very, very difficult to retake. So if you're going to make that gamble on the B side, because you have the players there for the defense.
Agreed, and good molly on Prawn. If he's going to keep re-peaking like that, I mean, I don't see why. And that's exactly how you punish an overzealous AWPer, and a persistent AWPer at that, and the kills are going in their favor once again, and they have the site locked down. Just the goats, and he's done for the retake. And I don't want to say it's doable. Looking at the economy, they have to think hindsight. They have to think in the future, not hindsight. They have to think about the next round, how they want to play that. They've definitely lost time in those engagements. Do you smell rain?
I do. It's great.
Oh man,
I'm so excited.
Rain. Oh man, I just love the smell.
So 2v3, the save's coming through. What do you? I don't know if I like this continuous double AWP setup.
It's hard if you don't get the AWPs proactive early round. So early shots Banana, early shots down the middle, an apartment AWP set up there with the rifler. To get double AWPs, that means you're getting the entries and you're making sure it doesn't really get to that retake point where it's 3v3. You want to make sure you retake it at an advantage, 4v3, 5v3, etc. That's the main purpose.
They're definitely not being aggressive enough with these AWPs. I feel an easy flash. God's not dead is playing the aggressive angle, but he's not peeking down Banana because he's not getting the support flashes coming in from his team.
It's more so they don't have the know how to do it. I mean, that could come into effect, and it's okay to not know things.
Yeah, 100%. These guys are all still very, fresh in the scene, fresh in the game. Like we were talking about that 10,000 hour pro mark, but there's an aggressive peak. I like it. It was dry, but he got the kill in the end. Fetsien's down. That is definitely an impact fragger down for Paul Roos. And now the execute's coming. The leg shot from Prawn. He's going to throw that molly down. Is he going to expect close? Yes, he does. He gets the kill. Jin's there with the support as well, and that is a quick 3 kills for St. Benedict's. Senior Geraldo.
Look at this.
I like this. He's going B.
He's going B, which is a good decision, but that's one of my biggest problems with players over-aggressing Banana. You don't really know when you lost CT spawn where potentially the player's going to go, but Senor Jaro does have utility with them. If he just maybe senses that a player is in Banana, which is just hard to have that kind of awareness.
Yeah.
At least he's potentially going to get the bomb down to supplement the economy, but in terms of the round, the flick is just too fast from God's Not Dead. We saw him previously in the previous game that he's not going to miss those kind of shots, especially those flicks where he has all the information he wants and needs.
Yep. 4-7 is the scoreline now. St. Benedict's clawing their way back. They definitely need to, I think, to have a good attack on T side. They need the next 4 rounds. They need to go 8-7 here. I mean, that is the best possibility for them. But on a map like Inferno, where arguably, the way that these guys are playing, very T-sided, their T-side definitely, like we saw yesterday, looks a lot more polished than their CT side.
Agreed. God's Not Dead once again. The flash did come this time, and no one's there to greet him in Banana, so apartment take is the call for Paul Roos right now. 4 players leaning towards that section of the map, and I think Benedicts being very honest with the defense towards the A side, but you know, they have 4 players there, nothing wrong with that, and Sean takes an audacious peek, no flashbang used, and God's Not Dead won't miss those kind of shots, so gives them a man advantage. How to use the AWP is exactly what God's Not Dead is doing in Banana. 4 players stacked on towards the A side, 3 in the actual side, and 1 with the ability to rotate quickly towards B, and that Molotov isn't to slow them down. And to actually do a bulk burst, they need a flashbang to blind the pit player. The smoke isn't to slow them down even further.
So much. What's that, another 15 seconds?
Yeah,
the nade comes through.
It is, and it's one of the worst feelings when you set up for a bulk burst, you call you ready and the smoke lands or a molly lands, you have to abort, and then you have to run back and make sound cues while you abort. And that's the reset. But they have 45 seconds on the clock. They can readdress this, but they need to push that play off Banana to force the rotation before they go into this. Otherwise, they're running into a meat grinder.
Oh, there we go. Here comes the bulk burst. The AUG is there. No kills yet. A lot of damage being done. The support comes in. PC Boy finds 1. The drop comes down. Finds a 2nd for the GOAT as well. He's going to get a 3rd there with the headshot. Can he get the 4th? Nope, but Prawn's there with the AWP. And the wall bang to the head comes through. And that is the 5th round on the board for St. Benedicts. Tac pause does come out again. There takes the 4th, but very can you? That's rain on the roof of Maverick. I can hear it.
Smell it.
It is, yeah.
I can smell it.
No, it's great. It's great.
I'm surprised because sometimes Joburg just doesn't get rain for like 6 months, which is wild.
I mean, both of us coming from Durban, you're used to once every second day, right?
Yep. And if it doesn't rain every second day, you make it rain.
And looking back into this game, getting started 5-7.
Yeah,
St. Benedicts have adjusted really well to what Paul Roos are doing.
Mind games, the counter-attack pause.
Was that the counter-attack pause?
Counter-attack pause. You want to attack pause and attack pause again? I got 4, you got 2. What up?
You see what's happening?
Missed him. Waving frantically.
Waving frantically, asking, begging for some attention, but he's there. And I like the way that St. Benedicts are adjusting to what Paul Roos are doing, purely based on the fact that they're now showing that little bit of aggression. God's Not Dead on the AWP through Banana, making it a lot more difficult for Paul Roos to push that angle without any util. And we've already complimented Paul Roos on how they're using their util in Banana. It's very easy. I feel without a support player there helping God's Not Dead, it's very easy to push them off that angle and get an easy opening into B because of there not being any support.
Yeah, I mean, they need to do earlier on protocol to just push God's Not Dead back off Banana because he's controlling it quite well there. Prawn picking up the first kill there.
Was that through? That was through apps, I think. Yeah, and Jin, he's going to be here. Deagle Savage says no, and going to push through, find himself a weapon as well, and that's going to put them into a not a man advantage, but it's always easier as it always benefits the terrorists if you're in the even. So the util is coming down, and the push is being stopped by Electrics with the Deagle once again finding Hazadan, and there's the AWP from God's Not Dead, finding the lurker, making sure that that's not able to come through CT. And the rest of the 3 players, they're going to push through Paul Roos with the Deagles. We've seen that they're very strong. Goat says no, he denies that. Gets the 2nd as well. Can he find the 3rd? No, but Prawn is there, holding the angle as well with the AWP. The Electrics with the Deagle finds the 2nd now, putting himself a 1v1. He has a gun, he has armor, he has a flashbang. This has now become very doable.
God's Not Dead. Speaking with the AWP, he's aware that the player hasn't crossed towards the left-hand side of site yet. Perhaps not. He thinks it's default. So the misinformation is going to actually cost him his life. And Electrics, the man has opened up the round as a man who closes the round, actually. So, and he picks up that AWP. So that's a lot of work found by him. He's hitting the shots and he's helping his team out through this. He's actually won them the 8th round, which has won them the half. And it's a CT-sided map, so it's not too good. It's not too good. It's raining and pouring for them.
It is. And see, now, this is what we were talking about with the double AWP setup. If they hadn't run it so consistently, they would still be able to buy up in this round. But unfortunately, with that double AWP setup, it is very, very costly. The Deagle, Jin, trying to be aggressive, not going to find anything, gets a lot of information, though.
Indeed. Prawn, he's going to peek down middle. And it's forced, like you mentioned earlier, Eco is not the best fit. Sean is going to open up the round and Prawn with that AWP. It's good. The Scout will get recycled nonetheless, but 4v5 isn't going to help her case when Savage is destroying Jinx and Hazardan is trying his best to recover this dire situation, and the grenade just lands quite perfectly. Touchdown grenade, in fact, and God's Not Dead has lost that B side. He's going to throw down a molly, but that's just going to buy him a little bit of time to rotate back to backstage to get a better angle. But this coffin smoke is just going to completely block out all the vision, and he has to bow down and knee and obey the smoke. He has to accept that he cannot get back into this side.
Do it. Oh, shoot it! Oh,
he gets the tag. If he got the first shot.
The first shot would have been dead, that would have been to the head.
But there's utility left on God's Not Dead. He can definitely just smoke off Banana, flash the boys in. It's a 3v3, so it is kind of winnable. No kit. Actually, there's a kit in God's Not Dead, so whatever. Bit of an extension from Paul Roos, but they're not giving it to them. Do they expect the flank coming from Banana? It's just down to Fat Sean. He's the first guy exposed to that, and he gets the CT player. God's Not Dead and Goat, the last two left alive to clutch out this round. Good molly to push out that player and kills the Banana player. So good Molotov in terms of support, and it's beautifully done with the kit. And that's the teamwork I was talking about. He did a Molotov from Banana into family to push out that player for God's Not Dead to kill him, and he killed the Banana player. So for me, the MVP of that round is
It was in the head. So now forcing Paul Roos onto a save. There is 2 AKs being brought up. It is the last round, but the util is there, and I think a quick Banana here will throw God's Not Dead off. He's very close with this AWP. He's going to find one. He's going to get traded out almost immediately by the Deagles of Fetzian, and the nade does come out. That does a lot of damage. That puts them into that one-shot headshot range for the org.
But at the same time, there's no utility left on Hazardan to anchor this B side. The rotation is there in the form of Prawn, but he's sitting at quite the distance, so just waiting for information to work with whether he wants to rotate back to A or B. Paul Roos have slowed it down quite a lot, and one of the best ways to go about a situation like this, especially mid-round after netting that first kill, you want to wait for the CTs to second-guess themselves, to get a bit frantic in terms of rotations, as you can see them right now. They pulled up into middle, Paul Roos, but how many sound cues will they give away taking middle to keep these 3 players here? They will be going straight into long, and there is a player waiting with open arms, the form of Prawn with that org, and he has to be super ready. No, again, that's the second guessing I'm talking about, as he misses the window of opportunity there, and Savage just cleans up. Jinx with the Mac 10, and the greatest of all time sitting in pit, has to do so much work. He's the only one left alive on the side of St. Benedict. The utility usage, he needs to just tick them down, just scratch off the HP for him to just peek and prod. He gets the first, but he gets taken down to 26 HP, 24 HP, and it becomes a lot harder for him, as it only comes down to headshots, and he's going to get caught unawares by Senor Gerald.
Yep, and that is the half. 9-6, not going the way that St. Benedict's wanted here on Inferno. I think they would have preferred to come out on top, especially starting on the CT side. Agreed. But as we've said already, the T sides of these teams looking a lot more polished. Yesterday when they were playing, we saw the comeback from St. Benedict's on the T side, and we'll see if that's the same case here. All the players coming to play, if you're looking at the scoreline, Fetzian with 19 kills already at the half, and
this is a bit of a better game than yesterday between these two teams. It's less messy. There's more structure towards it, and you can just see the train of thought going through the players' heads right now, as they're just waiting for Banana regression. 3 players, 4 players sitting at A ramp, and 1 player just taking middle, or just causing a ruckus in middle with that P250. It is a one-shot headshot, so you kind of want to take these duels, but look how aggressive he's going. Look how fast he is. Sound cues, and Jinx picks up a play in Banana, and that's the opener. That's the way you want to play it, and that's the bait and switch.
Yeah, now
simplicity, actually.
It is simplicity in its fact, and simplicity will win you CS games. But there's the headshot from Fetzian. Can he find a second? No, the taps don't come through. Hazardan left on 10 HP though. The bomb will go down. Retake is in effect. 4v4. It's Fetzian.
If he smokes off Banana, the round is over.
That is
sure.
100%.
Please use the smoke. His shots are landing.
No.
Forget the smoke.
Forget the smoke.
There the smoke does go down. He has the kit, so he has to get across. I'm done.
He gets a second. There comes a fire through the smoke. He doesn't find it, but the diffuser is going to come through. He needs to spam. Prawn Finds one, can't find the diffuser though, and that is unlucky. St. Benedict's losing the pistol. They definitely wanted to pick that one up. 6-10 now, Paul Roos priming themselves to take this first.
At least my car is getting washed. That's the best part about all of this. Snow's been rolling around in the mud quite a bit. Yeah, it was hard rain. That's, I mean, at least...
Almost like a high pressure hose.
High pressure hose, exactly. But a deco by St. Benedict's, and I mean, they did perfectly well early rounds.
They did.
Outplayed Paul Roos with that bait down banana with the prayer, going aggressive up middle, but it doesn't work off. It doesn't work off at all.
Nope.
First pick on the side of Paul Roos.
Oh, no.
God's not dead, the star player getting taken out first. It is a deco, so one of the rounds they should be able to convert.
Yeah.
I mean, despite a lot of rounds being won with the deco, this tournament, you know, stating the case to my claim.
Yep.
The deagles are quite intensive. One shot, headshot. And the movement speed is perfect. But on the side, I don't understand. Paul Roos were deagles themselves. So I see why not. He gets a second
PC
kill.
Boy, no.
Insane shots coming out of PC
hello?
Boy.
But everyone on the, I think they literally go into aim servers and it's like, I'm just going to use a deagle.
But also, deagle is so much easier on land than online. Like, a lot of pro players would tell you, okay, then the deagles once again.
Oh my goodness.
PC Boy and Jinx getting a dig apart.
That's the one
by himself. And
come on, you've done it once already with the deagle. You can do it again. Deagle 1v3. Some low players. The pistols are out for both teams. There's an auto shotty, that XM sitting there. The bomb should go down.
Yeah, but the pit player is just calling all this info, and this guy's surrounded by 3 players.
Yeah,
I doubt the bomb would even go down. Like, if he hits another shot like he did earlier, it's possible.
No.
But there we go. Fetch Sean is in with the Uz, and the shotgun. Very weird buys. Yeah, that's a wild shot.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah, it was like a reaction shot, really.
Okay, so 6-11 is the scoreline. Paul Roos in the lead. They're going to, again, opt for this weird by AKs and that Crick coming in, but the auto shot, he fets in. No, don't do it. God's not dead, sniffing him out. And he gets a second. That is B-side open. They need to take this really quickly. The bomb is hesitating. This needs to be St. Benedict's going quickly onto the side. Okay, the bomb is heading that way, and the retake will be into effect. The util does come out. I like that they're still cautious. They know that they got 2 on B, but they're still cautious with all the util throwing it down, so they're making sure that they're not getting tapped from CT spawn like they did on the pistol.
Yeah, God's not dead. Good clean entries there, pre-aiming close wall and trading that second player. Well, not trading and just, instantly reacting and flicking towards the second player. Good awareness play by him. He does understand that there will be a bait and switch set up by Paul Roos, and he destroys it.
He does, and the full hold. I mean, we see the save coming, and they're not going to go for this. They want to keep hold of the weaponry that they do have. A lot of util. I think the most important thing here for Paul Roos to keep is they've got about $2,000 worth of util almost. So that's definitely a good call for them to save. 7th round on the board here for St. Benedict's, and they're going to look to claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, a lot of money still on Paul Roos, so they should be able to buy. Not the best buy, but
they'll put a buy
enough
through
to mount up a defense.
Do you save or do you buy through the weaponry that you have? What would you say? What would you do?
I guess I don't know, because they need to get proper utility and guns. They can get the cheapest guns, your OMS, and just play the utility game, but I haven't seen the utility game come out of them, so I just think they should maybe save up and rely on having those M4s and that AWP as well. And Fetch Sean, he seems to be hitting a shot, so we've spoken a bit about utility, but just to add on to that fact, grenades become so much more important on the CT side, especially because looking at the weaponry that you have, the M4 only doing 84 damage to the head, or 87 damage to the head headshot, and that util is so important to land the grenades, because that easily makes your weaponry so much better going into the latter half of this game, or latter half of the round. Essentially, it amplifies your weapon, amplifies the M4. And not only that, there's This map has such tight nook crannies, and the choke points are small. Savage picking up God's Not Dead. He wasn't low HP, so that would be the call to go out towards the A side, their bomb. If they catch this guy, it's okay. Prawn gets out of there just in time. JIT principle. But like I mentioned, then the choke points are so narrow, netting down middle, netting down banana. You can get a lot of damage. We did see it in the previous couple of rounds that, you know, you put them down to 50 HP and you just chip away with that with your SMGs, etc. That's one of the ways to go about playing the CT side. But at the end of the day, you're playing against a decent team. They're going to have a plan for that. They're going to have a solution for that.
Yep, they are. The retake is in effect. All 5 players left alive for Paul Roos here. They're going to try and take the side, but Jin is there, gets one. Can't find the second. Goat is there with the AK as well, but PC Boy and Fetzi in reply. 2v2. Prawn says, no guys, not just yet. He is so low though. It isn't even planted for him, and PC Boy with the deagle. No,
Sean.
Guys,
communication.
No, you had that.
Communication is so important at those points in time where, I mean, not only they ran past the kit, but the guy who had the kit wasn't on the bomb initially, and then the guy who wasn't on the bomb got on the bomb without and then he got off the bomb and began the bomb, and then I'm at a bull brain smash.
Basics that you need to do to win rounds, and that round would have definitely gone the way of Paul Roos. There would have been 12 rounds on the board, but now St. Benedicts and you know the buy comes through, but there's not that much util again here for Paul Roos, and this is pretty much the story of these two teams, is where the util usage on CT hasn't been that great. They keep forcing up instead of maybe saving one. You're 3 rounds. At that stage, you're 4 rounds ahead. You can sacrifice 1 round just to an eco, just to make sure that you have that util for the next round going into it. Not only the util, but a couple of full lineup of M4s, maybe even an AWP.
Green and smoke into CD spawn, and I think it's we call this a 2-phase attack into the B side or double pump. You set the first pieces of util to bait out the CTs or util, and you exec again above that. So when you are going into the site, there's no mollies that are distracting you, deterring you from the path where you want to take, and it's a stalemate at the moment. 5v5, no one dead just yet. 50 seconds on the clock, ticking down, and you can see how much utility has been set up. The patience is there. Flashbangs do seem to be on point. PC Boy playing at an off angle here. His teammates is playing in CT spawn, and they're completely smoked out. He is boosted though. Pre-aim by God's Not Dead. Very aware of that angle, and the God takes out PC Boy. Now backstage control is coming out. Gun out. Electrics, please. Takes taken down. Movement. Down to a 3v3. Yeah, the movement saved him. The movement did save him indeed.
3v3 and the retake is here. Guns are being traded out, so CT's upgrading. There we go. Coming through here. So nice patience and Electrics. Jin actually with the headshot comes through.
Dark, right?
2v2, yeah, he's sitting in dark. So can he get a second? He does, and the GOAT comes through with the headshot as well. And that is the 9th round here on the board for St. Benedicts.
Like I mentioned earlier, it comes down to, you know, who minimizes all the mistakes on the CT side.
Yeah.
Both teams kind of have a rough idea how to play the T side, so that's where they're netting majority of the rounds, and you can see it once again. It comes down to individual brilliance and decent clutches. Jinx doing well there. God's Not Dead. Yeah. Good heads up on that entry into that B side.
They're going to run into it full stack here. The util comes out, and it is a quick one as well. They're going to need to be very aware of where these off angles are being held. There's the vision. God's Not Dead, and Prawn find 2 kills very quickly. Electric's not able to find, or actually able to find second, but gets traded on. That's a quick round here for St. Benedict's. 10-11 on the scoreboard. That was really fast.
Yeah, it was fast and it was good. You know, again, it's not the best to run into a stuck, but if you're going to run into a stuck, you got to do it just the way St. Benedicts did it. I mean, the players are pre-aiming exactly where they expected the CTs to be, so that player in bulk has stood 0 chance, especially with just no armor, getting, you know, squeezed down to his death.
And it's the standard holders out again. Paul Roos. They have now a little bit more util, full weaponry, and 3 kits on the board. Let's see what St. Benedicts do here. I like the slowdown. I like it when a team plays quick and then just slows it down a lot. The util coming out on B as well, just to find a little bit of damage. They're not going to do anything quite yet. God's not dead. He's trying to pre-aim some angles, trying to find an early kill, but Fetzian, he's very aware of the positioning, swings out wide and finds the kill there. Smoke does come down, but the bomb is towards the A site.
I mean, you understand the idea behind what he's trying to do. Better kid, but Hazard is going to come out there. But does he land this frag? It's too much for him. But his team is out there to assist and clean out the A side. The over-rotation towards the B side wasn't the right decision made by them. And it leaves them into a 3v3 retake. They do have some sort of utility to work with to create some space, moving in. Decent grenade into Goat. And they're going to wait for the smoke to dissipate. They have to wait for the smoke to dissipate. There's a Molotov, so he's going to throw it into the side. Maybe roast prawn alive, and he's going to flashbang. He's going to use it early to stop them. The molly isn't deep enough, so all he's going to do is going to keep him in this cubby. But the Goat has a perfect angle for anyone pushing through that smoke. Jayan doesn't want to overextend and lose his life too early to the plane, but the bomb's taking down faster and faster, and that's the call. They're going to give up on this round, and they're going to save into the T-spawn side, B side.
Goat's going to die, yeah. Goat's going to die. That's unlucky.
Yeah, did they jump on each other's heads? Or
yeah, they did. Goats was on top there, but IQ, who was it? Who was the player from Mouse Sports?
The name is a pit.
Yeah.
Dozier grenade.
Dozier grenade, that's the one. After that, they changed it. So, well, 11-11 scoreline. St. Benedict's playing a lot quicker here. The UMP is good for one and gets traded out, but Electric's on the back here. He hasn't triggered his splints there. He finds one, finds a second.
Oh, but there's another key crux in apartments, and they're not even aware of him.
Oh, no.
And he's running straight into the rotators, actually, and the bomb is going to get planted, and is going to get, there we go, lined up and shot in the face, and that's the next round. And this is how they get into it. St. Benedicts seem to overextend and trip on their shoelaces, and Paul Roos is capitalizing that. And again, too fast into that A side. They potentially should have lost the previous round when they rushed into the A side, but 12 rounds on the board for Paul Roos. Good flank. Carry on and let the teamies deal with you.
Yep.
But good trigger discipline, good reactions, and good comms nonetheless. The rotations were there just in time. Even if he got one, it would have went in their favor regardless, and helps the economy out of it. St. Benedict's, they're going to be holding their hands in their head, sweating about that just a little. They definitely wanted to even out the scoreboard or just take the round lead. But they aren't able to do so. If they can just reset the economy. Paul Roos overzealous by Senor Harold. Come on, cabron. 4v5 at the moment.
Now slowing it down here, but is St. Benedict's holding the angles, waiting for the aggression. They found one, but I definitely think, that nade.
Oh, this nade is gonna be meaty. Just tickles him.
Just tickles him. A little bit later, that would have found him a kill there.
Agreed. And they need to solidify this A site. There's only one player there, and they're on the brink of a bulk burst. Left of mid smoke does come out. Actually, the motor smoke. So the smoke into Palace is going to help out the pit player, but Electrics is looking to be that flanker once again to peak middle, a bit more delayed. And he needs to get this side play. He mustn't overextend. He gets the lineup, and the crossfire from side works perfectly. Electrics once again flanks them from their 6.
Well, you said they needed to solidify the hold. I think they've done exactly that. Holding that crossfire is so strong, and Electric's just peeking out at exactly the right time and what he needed to do, and that nets them around 13-11 now. Paul Roos getting closer and closer to winning this first map here on Inferno, moving swiftly along. What was it, to Mirage? I think it was. And now the aggression comes in onto the B site, peeking aggressively, making sure that they're taking banana control, and the bomb is there waiting. So this could work out very well in Paul Roos's favor. They're going to have all the information. They're going to have all the information here on saying that, but Jen.
They have all the information,
So
but look
unlucky.
at how St. Benedict's had a certain timing to burst into the A start, and they've missed out on it. PC Boys rotated in time, but they're leaving one player deep banana, which isn't the greatest idea. Maybe playing half forward with the ability to fall back if need be. So he has a lot of work on him. He needs to at least be good for 2 kills. PC Boy coming with a lovely headshot there in middle into God's Not Dead, and that's what I'm talking about. Get that kill and rebuttal back, pace back, fit Sean. That's the right decision to make. These Eagles aren't paying dividends like they used to. They're not landing the shots, not being given the opportunity. And we go Gerald.
Senor Geraldo making some bank there for his efforts.
Nothing wrong with money. Nothing wrong with money.
For me, right? Paul Roos, they keep adjusting really well to what St. Benedicts are doing. Sure, they lose a couple of rounds in a row, and then they talk about it. And they're like, guys, well, you know, we're losing to this. Why don't we just defend against it? And they've done exactly that. They're adjusting super well. And at this stage of the map on Inferno, if you're doing that, and it's late in the game already for St. Benedicts, they need to come back with something here. And I like the timing of this tack pause as well, making sure that they have a chat about it, making sure that they understand what they're going to do into the next round.
Indeed, and it's lovely to see. We spoke about it yesterday, how it was so underutilized, the tack pauses. So I definitely think they've watched the demos and, you know, understood that it's important to just take a step back and just rethink, reassess the situation with the tack pause and, you know, reevaluate your plan and come together with a good decision that everyone's on board with. Banana control coming out of St. Benedicts. Not St. Benedicts, Paul Roos. There we go.
That's
double correction is always the best correction. My God's not dead. He's going to capitalize on this, and he gets traded out, but lives his life for his efforts. But the spam through the smoke, and it actually activates them to push towards the A side. The call has been made, but they're unaware that there's two players here. Electrix did his best, but Go trades it out, and there's one player on that B side, and they're swarming and they're surrounding him. And PC Boy needs to understand that CCT spawn he's exposed to, and moves us out on that spray transfer. Savage, last player alive, hot on the heels of the goats, and this smoke is a GG smoke for me. When you smoke deep CT, that's when it becomes GG.
There's no way for him to get into back up or into back coffins or anything. Like you can't really do anything from this time. The bomb's ticking down
another
at the moment. Well, it goes through. Yeah, that was the best play. If you wanted to go through that round, or wanted to at least try, you had to go through the smoke. It's just unfortunate that he didn't have a flash, because I think if he had a flash in that at that time, it would have netted him at least one, and then he puts himself into a 1v1 situation. He could have actually tried to take it, but St. Benedicts, they find a round here, 12-14.
Yeah, and it puts Paul Roos in quite a dicey situation. They have potentially one more buy left in their hands. The Skelton has it done. Their economy wasn't great either, despite, you know, winning that round. Fetch Sean, there's a player on his close to right, so he can't overextend. He's waiting for a player to jump onto logs to just peekaboo his head. And if he can just be a bit more patient and keep pounding like he is, it's a free kill for him, just like it is right now. Just like we see in front of our eyes.
And that's going to put a damper on the push here at St. Benedicts. They're going to need to do something. There's a 4 alive. Savage's angle here. I like the crossfire. Peeking on advance or peeking off each other would be great. So the molly does come down. It's going to slow things down even further, force them back or either into balcony or back into second mid. They can't peek that angle now. They know that it's coming. So again, Paul Roos adjusting really well. Putting 4 players onto that A side. And the bomb's still moving towards this A side.
John, they're going to wrap. They've been wrapping quite a while, and this lineup gets traded out by Goat. Gets 2 for his efforts. Not bad by him, 2v4 at the moment, and they've smoking up archers, which does indicate they want to wrap into this A side. But look how many players are waiting there. 3 players. Senor Harold says, chill out, boys, I got this. 2 kills of his own, and that's 15 rounds on the board. That is match point.
That is indeed match point.
30 kills on Fetch Sean.
30, hey?
30-30. Filthy 30. This is rain outside if he wants to be clean.
12-15. The buy here from St. Benedicts doesn't look too promising either. They have forced up. They've got the util as well. And Paul Roos, they're going to throw those nades. Get aggressive with the AWP. Finds the opening one. Fetzian. He is there. Good for one again. Can he find another? No. He doesn't find the second, but PC Boy is there for the second one as well. Prawn trades it out. Finally, Molly does come down onto the stairs, making it very difficult for the bomb to get into sight there. The second Molly comes down. Up Bry goes Jin to plant that bomb down. The AWP is there. Fetzian finding the second form, or the second for himself in the round. And Prawn unable to close that out. So 16-12. The first map goes to Paul Roos.
Indeed, and Valiant effort. Paul Roos did look pretty strong yesterday, and today they're just proving Inferno is the map. Fit Sean with 30 kills on the side, a lot of kills, and then Electrics did his part. Unfortunately, again, it just comes down to making less mistakes in your CT side and in Benedicts. Too many
mistakes were made. I think, like we were saying yesterday, CS is a game where you don't win purely on skill. It's also about the team who makes the least mistakes. And I definitely think Paul Roos did that really well. Their CT side looks a lot better than it did yesterday. And I think they've cleaned up a lot of the mistakes that they were making yesterday in their CT side to come out on top on this map.
It came down to managing on economy, and Paul Roos were just ahead of them in that regard. I mean, mostly on the CT side where it is more important. They got the AWPs up when they needed to. They saved up quite well for that. And on top of that, they had utility to back up those AWPs. Yeah. I mean, on Paul Roos' side, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I liked it. It was a clean one. But we are going to be back for the second map just in a little bit after a break. And we will see you then.
The Telkom VS Gaming Masters 2019, it's happening!
It is happening, and we're almost at the finals for the CSGO. We're so excited.
You guys have done so much for gaming here. Just tell me a little bit about that 1.1 million rand that you guys have put down for the winners.
I mean, for us from a Telkom perspective, we've been dedicated around providing esports for gamers. And every year we want to do better and better, and it's about increasing that prize pool, making sure that our winners are acknowledged and becoming the celebrities and giving the attention to esports that it needs.
Telkom's been involved with esports and gaming in general for the last 11 years?
11 years, can you believe it, hey?
I mean, you guys have been very supportive of the gaming community. What are you guys thinking about going forward?
I mean, for us, it's making sure that we're improving year on year. If you look at our displays, every year we want to make sure that we're giving out a much better, spectacular event and making sure that the gamers get the recognition that they want. It is a sport, it is an exciting sport, it is growing, and we're there as the broadband provider and ensuring that we're improving and ensuring that our services are improving along those lines, yeah.
Are you guys committed to getting behind VS Gaming at Comic-Con for the next couple of years?
Well, from our point of view, it's always about evaluating and seeing how each and every single show goes and ensuring that that we're getting the value.
Esports players aside, what is Telkom doing for the gamers like us that are sitting at home, live streaming or playing games online?
You know what, I think bringing VS Gaming closer to Telkom has allowed us the opportunity to understand where the grid points are for your gamers. And what we're looking at, please, everyone keep a lookout for us. We're building a product for gamers. It's coming out soon. Understanding all the problems that you've been having with our network from a service, making sure that you are always on. This is where we are understanding the key points are, and we definitely, our product propositions, our product teams are working on it, both from an LTE perspective as well as from a fiber perspective. As you know, from a mobile side, we're introducing a mobile gaming proposition coming out shortly within the next couple of weeks. Ooh. We're committed across all our platforms.
So we'll hear about that later.
It's coming. It's coming.
He's going to find him. He's going to rotate back to the A side or double back to the window. This is 2.0 Ratcha. Oh! This is 2.0 Magro. He goes huge. That the positioning is bad. I think some 5 can hold this down tools. It depends if they're coordinated at the same time. How come Bush's lobby? You might be right, girls. 2v3 at the moment. And they pull it back. Perfect scan. Oh! Cannibalistic, coming alive. It's all up to Sheer now. 1v1 to hold Good Gaming's homes. Does he get the frag? He does not. Blaze has enough time here to get the defuse.
We are back with the second map, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mirage. Paul Roos taking the first map. Wouldn't say convincingly. They did struggle a little bit, but towards the end, they just seemed to nudge ahead.
They did. And something to mention, Paul Roos coming into this, 100% win rate.
It's a lot of percentages.
So they haven't lost a game.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game. Despite the overtime yesterday they had versus St. Benedicts themselves, it just seems like they've bounced back a lot stronger. They seem a little more, coordinated as a team, and not less, I wouldn't say more disciplined, just omitting less errors compared to St. Benedicts. It just seems towards the CT side mostly. Both teams do have a proficient T side. That does seem like they have a rough idea of what needs to happen, and the communication is there. But the CT side requires a lot more coordination, a lot more teamwork, and a lot more communication. I've said that twice because that's how important it is.
It is very important, communication in CS, and we saw how it affected them in the last couple of rounds. There. I mean, there was a lot of missed calls and maybe information over rotations, stuff not happening, things that are I'd like to call in the basics of CS:GO, where you need to have those on lockdown before you can look at any of the more intricate stuff like set smokes and set executes and holding crossfires and setting crossfires
Agreed. And it's just down to learn the basics, the absolute basics in terms of what utility needs to go where. Mirage, just the basic smokes, the very basic flashes and utility usage. And then from there, only from there, that's when you can incorporate those elaborate strats, the double fakes, etc. Just rely on your teamwork and the simplicities and communication, and you should be able to net out a few more rounds, especially in the CT side where it's more prevalent. You could definitely get that more waxed and focus on that a little more. And it's not just the high school league teams; it's also in the professional scene in South Africa. A lot of teams just seem to shy away, a lot more putting effort into the CT side, more on the terror side. Yeah, it's less boring to prepare on the T side. You can get a lot more out of the T side, innovation, etc. And it's one of the reasons why the second reason is just it just takes 5 individuals just with the same minds to think alike on the CT side. Read each other. Sometimes you don't even need communication. You just know what your teammate is going to do. You know the habits, etc. But Mirage, very puggy map, just like Dash 2. Inferno, a lot more detailed in terms of utility and strategies, but. And Mirage, you can pretty much just barrel down middle and land your shots, or barrel out A ramp and land your shots.
But I mean, looking at what
it could be a bit dicey.
Looking at what's important on Mirage is obviously we speak about a lot is mid control. You want to take that mid control so you can have those basics, or that basic of the B split or the A split coming through. And we saw it a bit yesterday where the mid control was there, but the util was lacking. And today, from what we've seen on Inferno, it looks like the guys have gotten their util down and actually gone back home and practiced it. So I'd like to see some of that stuff coming out, especially having your basics like your mid cross smoke, your window smoke. But saying that, we are getting into this. Paul Roos 1-0 up against St. Benedicts, going on to Mirage now, and if they win this, they win it all.
Yeah, St. Benedict's tournament life on the line, finals life on the line. They definitely want to go home with the trophy, their medals, and celebrate that a little. Maybe get their half colours at school. But only time will tell. Paul Roos, they do have a smoke and a kit in the form of Fed Cookin, and in the T side, no utility, just full man armor. And it does suggest they're going to barrel out the B side or go lows or something of that sort. And I'm a big fan of them sticking together. Glocks in a flock. Always very strong thing. Always a strong play. And there we go. The pushers coming out now. They're jumping out of apartments. And Senor Harold, please, Goat and Jin delete the 2 remaining players on that side. Lovely entry. It is a 3v3. Electrics is coming in from the left-hand side. Does get a kill there. Has a Dan. Trades it out 2v2 at the moment. And it's just a low HP, so it comes down to the headshot shot. The Glocks are very, I won't say the strong as the USPs, but they can do damage. They do have the movement speed.
They can, spamming down. We saw a lot of gooshes, but Savage with the USP finds the head. Now it just has a Dan left with this Glock. He can do it, gets one and gets the second. And that is St. Benedict's getting that pistol round. And as you can hear the cheers from the crowd, so you're happy that that's
They're pretty
happening.
pumped. And not only that, was a very important pistol round because, if they can compound on this, they can win the second round. They're off to a good start, especially. Perfectly.
Then getting goosed down. But Paul Roos, they're going to get that Scout Electrics on it mid. He's going to watch that long angle. Bomb moving again towards the B side. Oh, Fetzian with the aggression. Can he find one? He can, but now he needs to fall back. And he does. That is great work there.
They're going to hunt him down. I love this off angle. They didn't really fall back. I wish he would have done more damage.
Yeah.
If he had to fall back, I guess he didn't have any information as to who's holding middle, but are going to rotate 4v4. They have upgraded into this round, so they do have a lot at stake here. They're going to boost into window, and is he aware of it? PC boy getting caught in the face. The scout is very hard to use in this region, so the A side is completely open.
Yep.
And I do think they should probably get that gun that they got the kill off and save it and fight another day. If they don't net kills too soon. It hasn't gone down yet, the bomb, so the round is still up in the air as to who's who's.
Yeah. There we go. Bomb is now down. Hazard down with that Mac 10. He's going to clean up one more. No armor. Savage with the Eagle is not going to find anyone. Jin's there with the headshot. The AK takes him down. And oh no. Electric's missing, unfortunately, there for him. Jin, he's going to take the headshot there. 2-0 up St. Benedicts. And this puts Paul Roos in an awkward situation because they're going to have to deco again. I think that is the best call. I mean, they haven't gained any economical advantage at all. So a full save here or deco would do great for them. Just buying down to like 2.5k would do well. But God's not dead. He's got the smoke there into mid. I suggest them wanting to take some mid control very early. The bomb is moving towards that. But yeah, it's a full T ramp rush coming out here. The GOAT, he's heard that. He's at an off angle. He's going to find one. Can't find the second. But that is an AK now in the hands of Paul Roos. I think it is definitely worth it for them.
They could have done it with 4, kept a player, cat window just to get some information, but it's definitely worth. How did the gun get up there from the bottom? Insane.
It's just CSGO things.
Yeah, I mean, that's how hard they shot him, actually. But for the remaining 3 players with the USPs, they definitely want to be able to just get an AK moving into the next round. Fawn has it done, and God's not dead. Deletes all 3 USB players. In fact, Sean definitely wants to get out of here. You want to save the gun into the next round just to help out the economy. Although they will have a decent buy, but you got to think about the future rounds to come. Round 12, round 10, that's where economy gets a bit dicey. That's where things get a bit sticky and hairy. And he's rotated to a decent point shot. I don't think they'll be able to find him here unless he just keeps potting and probing. He's looking for exits and not trying to save. Big difference between the two concepts.
Yeah, it is. And well, that will be the 3rd round there on the board for St. Benedicts. They're starting off very strong here on Mirage. Looking at Hazard Dan making the effort there. He's got 7 kills. Top of the leaderboard there for himself. And now that all-important first buy round coming through for Paul Roos. Full set of util. Guns are out. There's a couple of kits as well. So they're going to look at taking this round. I like the positioning.
Yeah, very interesting that there's no AWP sports up against the went for utility over weaponry there. You see 2 players moving along catches to take a bit more space there, but they're waiting in the arms of Senor Harold. He's going to double back there towards the B side. They've forfeited mid control essentially, so they kind of have to make a play towards middle or towards B. Savage, Fetch Sean coming to the party there. Read the play quite nicely, holding off angles and delivering the advantage for Paul Roos, something they kind of need. The 3 rounds behind. There's the CT side, so first gun round. It's quite a lot to play for.
Prawn here yesterday did a lot of work through the smoke. Can Fetsia and do the same. He does a little bit of damage, not finding a kill for his efforts though, but 5v3. The nade does come out doing a little bit more damage.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to stand back after this.
Yeah, no, I just don't think that St. Benedict or Paul Roos are giving St. Benedicts really anything to work with in terms of space. They are doing very well. The nade does come out as well, doing a little bit more damage to God's Not Dead, and this angle is going to be so important for Fetsia. Savage, he says no.
What a lethal crossfire. Player posting on cats and Savage taking the remaining players out. And lovely round there. PC Boy chiming in towards the end there. First round on the board for Paul Roos. And they've picked up their guns as well, which helps out the economy moving into the future rounds. But St. Benedicts will be able to buy, although not the best weaponry, a Mac 10 onto Goetz. They definitely want to use him as a point man, entering first and let the rifles play behind and trade. The movement speed is quite lethal. If that is the case, mid control, they've been shying away from mid control a lot, Paul Roos, but we do see Electrics running up middle. I like to see this play, although he needs to be complemented by another player, and they reign through. And he needs to get out of there. He's been shot down to 44 HP, and you kind of need a zoom. I understand that you don't really want to zoom to give away sound cues, but to spot that length, you kind of need to there. Senor Harold coming big with the open, and there. That just unsettles the terror so far. Just forces the hand of the rest of the players to try chime in with the killer burn to even out the odds. And I mean, you don't want to do it in a willy-nilly way.
No, you don't. And the smoke comes out just at the right time, but he goes through. Like I would have wanted to see somebody from Paul Roos just posting that smoke, making sure that doesn't happen. And now Prawn, he's going to be on site, does a little bit of chip damage, making the players fall back. They're playing such long angles here, Paul Roos. They're really giving a lot of space to St. Benedict's on site, and it's going to make it a little bit easier to get in, not having to check those off angles.
It gets tough because the lurker is actually giving away so much sound cues there. Savage wise it already turns and burns at the right time, at the right place. And Prawn needs to make a play here. God's Not Dead at least helps out, but Electrix just gets 2 kills of his own, sitting in the end gap. And there you go, gets a trifecta.
Yep, 2-3 now.
Round.
This is sort of the story of the last game, just an opposite effect, where St. Benedict's, they win the 2 free rounds after the pistol. After winning the pistol, and now Paul Roos like, nope, okay, you guys have enough rounds, we're just going to come back. They're shutting them down. They're adjusting, like I've been saying this whole weekend, they're adjusting so well to exactly what St. Benedict's are doing. It's just so great to see. Now, the util coming out that nade, that was the effect. So much damage.
Yeah, it was a posing grenade there. It's just, you can see some bits and pieces of flesh hanging off their legs. They don't want to be caught against these Deagles. We know how powerful they are. Some of the players already pushed to the smoke. They're sitting there in Tetris. And the AKs. PC Boy needs to jump spot. I don't think he understands the right way to do it, but he needs to keep eyes or vision or information on that T-ramp so the players don't get flanked. They're really setting gaps. So if they get across him and fight to connect the players, that's when it gets a bit dicey, which they are doing right now. Electric and Savage coming to the party, chiming at the kills of their own, the spray down. The rifles reign supreme. That's 3 rounds on the board. And that's deuces, that's even Stevens. And we do see Paul Roos yesterday. They didn't play too well, but they did win. And it seems like they're getting better and better throughout the tournament, like you mentioned earlier. And you always want to peak in the final, right? You always want to save your best plays for the finals and just, be out to have an MVP performance or, a star performance by individual players. So I wouldn't say they're saving it up for the final, but I think they built up to it.
I agree with you completely there. Unfortunately, that smoke not working away that you wanted to.
He didn't want that at all. Now Electrix is pushing up middle.
I like this aggression. It's netted them not maybe not a lot of kills, but a lot of information.
Exactly. This smoke is something you do from CT Spawn. Astralis do this quite a lot. And look at the positioning Electrix is in. He can get all information and he can cut off the rotations if need be, or the lurker, not the rotations, and just let his team know they are going towards the A side. The rotations are coming in now, and the A players have a lot of work in their hands. And PC Boy, you don't want to be playing in front of the smokes, especially in a place of isolation. And Savage Boy comes and chimes in with that gap through that smoke there. And at least they're keeping the numbers in their favor at the moment. The bomb needs to go down for money next round, as they are pressed for time, and the Molotovs just keep bombarding them, slowing them down, disabling them to plant the bomb. And that shot from Fitchan, please.
There we go. Hazard,
Gets a trip kill, but all headshots.
That was so close.
Close, but no cigar.
No cigar. You did really well to get a lot of damage done there. And remember, it's not only about winning the rounds, but taking guns out of your opponent's hands, making them spend money. So as long as you're doing that, may not be winning rounds, but you're still keeping the economy close enough. As I say that, Paul Roos's economy isn't looking of any danger anytime soon.
They got like 11k, 8k, 7k, 5k. But they don't want to lose too many guns to an eco round like this. So gotta watch out for that scout headshot, the Electrics. I know, he's a good player and all, but maybe exercise a bit of discipline. He's just lucky there's no one pushing from lows to flank him off there. As you can see, he's aware of it now.
Now he is, I think he heard you too.
No, it's an internal clock you get used to in terms of Counter-Strike. Go to put down to 11 HP, upper beach. Has been contested, but nothing from it. The spam from Sean.
All you need to happen once is for you to get pushed from lows and get your head blown off, and then from then on, you pretty much check that angle every single time. But the spam coming in from Senior, it's not going to find any damage, and the lurk here, is actually going to hold.
This is wild.
It's crazy. It's holding and causing rotations from that B site, and now the plays towards mid as well. And there's the headshot. Goats with that. There's another one. God's Not Dead with the scout, and now the Electric. You need to hit those to try and now the scout being picked up again.
That's what happens when you over rotate a little. At least Electrics is salvaging the round just a little, but Again, the bomb will go down and the guns have been picked up on the side of St. Benedict's. Just an info A1, no armor, nets you a death. Aim punches, always going to win in those situations. And again, they just need to do economic damage. If not, try win the round. It is still doable. Again, Core is pants down electric, but that Glock is too weak. Scout.
Oh no! Okay.
Nonetheless, but Senor Gerald, once again, saves the day.
Does a 5-3 now. I think that's 5 rounds on the trot here for Paul Roos. They're doing very well to take control of the CT side here on Mirage.
5-3, they're not doing too bad in the CT side enough. So this is something you would like to normally see. Just 2 rounds apart, St. Benedict's looking to bounce back. If they could string some rounds together, I mean, they need to string more than 1 round together, at least 3 to break the economy of Paul Roos. But we have seen how dangerous God's Not Dead is. He definitely needs to get an AWP in his hands. That's where he's been the most proficient, right?
It has, and this is something we saw in the game earlier, where God's Not Dead was literally buying a P250. It wasn't investing anything into util until he got that AWP, and this is what I want to see again. I want to see them being able to afford it, but I also like what they're doing on the contrary as well, is they still have a full complement of guns in their hands with a lot of util to be able to work with.
Double fake, this is what I like to see, and at this level, double fake will always work. Players are very skittish. Even the anchor's left that side. He hasn't even bothered to pay attention to stay there. And there we go, here's doubling back, so you will be able to potentially see the players jumping out a window. Yes, he does see one, gets deleted, but God's Not Dead, and that's a blunder. If they can just cut off the rotation, the fights on the A side are still going back and forth, but the bomb is down on the B side. A lot of time to readjust and set up a good post plant. The Molotov is going to slow down the actual B retaking itself. He's burning and he's churning. But he's stable, he's staying composed, but he needs, just to give his team some information. This Molotov is going to be so good. It's going to just force him into a difficult situation. Prawn picks up a kill, but the trade is there. And there we go, that Molotov
was so good.
A lot of teams don't even do that on the higher level, so I'd like to see him doing it on the lower level.
I do like that as well. Trading up that second AWP for the AK as well. Paul Roos, they're not, I don't think since that buy round, I haven't seen nearly as many mistakes that they've been making. They're actually playing a great game of CS, and it shows in the scoreline. 6-3. They're making sure they're adjusting well to what St. Ben are doing. I mean, even the rotations. You had the anchor thinking about rotating, almost getting caught in what I like to call that limbo area, where you between the 2 sites and that nade. Doing a lot of work.
Push.
A-Ram.
And PC Boy, the Molotov, the fire, the blunder, and it's just too much for him. Pushing through a smoke into fire is never going to work out for you, Jen. Just trying to take advantage of that leeway, that space, that opportunity to get a frag. And that smoke's a bit too deep.
You hate to see
and that. Molly's a bit shallow, the nade is a bit shallow. You hate to see a lot of this.
Yeah,
but the kills are coming through, which you love to see.
You do. You love to see that. And there's the dinker through the box, and Paul Roos will close out another one. They just doesn't look like St. Ben can do anything at this point against them. I mean, they're trying so hard. The double fake, that didn't work out for them. They're doing a lot of things right, but it just seems like Paul Roos have their number.
Yeah, they're winning all the duels, right? When you win the duels, I mean, it's hard to come up with a strategy that'll help you just negate the duels and hope for the run through smokes. But look at their money, 16k and Fetch Sean, they can buy whatever they want. They got enough to buy lunch for 3 weeks over there.
14k on electrics as well. Oh, I like this aggression. They're not
did not extend. Now he's going to get caught with the body in his hand. Now he's going to die. Oh, but there's so much damage. Some damage information is there. Fetch Sean at least is there to help out with the AWP. Picks up 2 kills with the AVP and is unaware where GOAT is. The greatest of all time. That's the acronym for it. And God's Not Dead picks up the rotator. And this could be the open. Electrics is there just in time. And upper B Palace to trade it out and keep the even Stevens. 2v2.
2v2, but the bomb is rotating towards the other side. God's Not Dead, finding that kill. Now it is all on Electrics. We've seen him do this before. Can he do it again? Don't go through murder hole. Just don't do it.
This is nice.
God's Not Dead. That flash.
That looked nice. Okay, his brain is working overtime there.
It is, yeah.
2 good attempts. I mean, those 2 flashbangs are something I haven't really seen again in the pro level. So you can see Electrics has been playing a lot of the FPL circuit.
It has,
watching a lot of his demos. But, I mean, even that second flash was to obviously fake out that he was flashing to the window, which is why the guy obviously didn't post the actual window, which was nice to see. But again, God's Not Dead finally coming into this game, finally waking up, coming alive.
Yeah. We were talking about this outside, so almost the win condition. is God's Not Dead needing to be there in this game, and the kills as well. And Hazadan winning that duel with the Mac 10. That's not something you see every day. God's Not Dead taking a lot of damage as well. And now 4v4 as Savage cleans out Hazadan, making sure that he's keeping his team in.
And I like the pace they're playing at St. Benedict's. I know that they're losing a few rounds, but the pace is a bit unsettling for Paul Roos. The adjustments are a bit hectic to keep track with.
It really is. At this point, the Molly, the util is going to come out and force. Well, Fetsien's actually not playing that angle. He's going to peek. Oh, Prawn getting caught out.
It's the worst, you pull out utility and you peek. That's why you want to shoulder peek and then, throw the utility. You don't want to really hold it out. Prawn taking a lot of shots, a lot of damage, but he's still making out alive. Still lands in van, but such low HP. Sean just looking, putting and probing, but again, the double fake is coming out. Both players sitting on that A side, moving along that A side, and PC Boy needs to land shots. He's going to try get the second. He's fluffing. At least he's alive in this nade, almost killing him, almost touching him down. And 4v2, 2 players less than low HP, it's never going to work out. Valiant attempt to get the bomb down. At least they're keeping the money alive. At least they're keeping the chances to buy the next round alive. And that's round 8. That's double the score of St. Benedict's at the moment if you struggle with math.
4 plus 4 is 8.
Quick math.
Quick maths. And there's a... Should be I'd like to see St. Benedict's use attack pause here just to break some of the momentum that Paul Roos have been gaining. I mean, they've won, what's that, 7 out of the 8 rounds after the bye?
Yeah, I mean, they can buy for the rest of the game, to be honest.
They're not struggling with the economy at all for the rest of this game.
Like a change filling up their pockets.
They do indeed. For the rest of this half anyways. And that's push through the smoke. You're going to get punished every time. There's no util coming through. You need a flashbang at that point just to push that AWP off the angle, or at least a Molotov.
Agreed, and they're relying on this B split quite a lot, and it's been red. The Molly is coming out just not in time, and it's just too easy. It's like clay shooting. It's like shooting fish in a barrel for them right now. Sean's having a field day out of it. He's re-rotating to the right spots. They're hitting all the shots that Prawn's able to put an end to his life, but there's still 3 more defenders, 2 more rotations, and one guy just holding cat bomb is going to go down. Again, both players on low HP, so they have to land these headshots if they stand any chance of this round. Prawn has his sights trained onto that doorway there, and picks up the kill regardless of his low HP, which is kind of nice to see. The AWP, it doesn't really make sense in a situation like this. It's very hard, but he does have a rifle, still alive. He's in a prod and probe, jump out a window, and that's information just given. This should be easy for Savage, although he struggled.
5 HP left. I mean, that was almost. So that will be, that'll be the win, the round win there for Paul Roos. And a 9-4 is the scoreline. 2 rounds left in this half. I'd like to see St. Benedict's pick them up. Otherwise, they're going to have a very, very difficult time on CT. We've seen that their T is better than their CT holds. And at this rate...
Yeah, I mean, if I was St. Benedict's, I'll be thinking, boys. We need the next 2 rounds. Whatever you got, the stick attack pause. If you know a strat, let's call it out right now. And don't forget to hit your shots and call your Kobe's.
That nade is going to go. I like that smoke block as well.
He tried his best. It's very hard to block that smoke because you don't expect the players. Like if he tried to block that smoke, Electrics deleting the plan cat. Stop running cat. They've done it for like 6 rounds in a row and it's being ready, and it's just too easy to hold an off angle. If window's not smoked, you're going to have a bad time.
You are going to have a bad time. This is these mistakes that we were talking about. Seeing the players of St. Benedict's just dry peeking through smoke like this, literally throwing their lives away. It's quite unfortunate to see, because yesterday they weren't doing this. They were playing actually a lot more of a clinical game than they are today.
Yeah, Savage. Deleted by God's Not Dead. Good timing on him. Good confirmation. There's a kill nonetheless, and PC Boy deletes the play at A ramp, and that's the split push deleted. Only 1 point of attack coming in through from middle right now, and PC Boy very aware of what lingers behind that smoke as it dissipates. And Prawn, half HP, 52 seconds on the clock. He's going to throw a top mid smoke. I mean, why couldn't they throw that smoke in the beginning of the round to smoke out the AWP? Exactly. Destroying them the whole game. And it even lands.
Lands perfectly.
Why is that not being done 10 out of 10 times? Anyway.
Every single round. I mean, you talk about your round basics and your round protocols. That smoke should literally be coming out every single round without a fail. That means that you have that mid control. You can get it quite easily, because then all you need to worry about is the connector push. And
Oh, lovely kill by him. That's exactly what he needed to do. He just killed the player watching the cross, set a little bit, 18 seconds. There's a player high ground, and Senor Harold is very aware of it. The call is coming in. He's going to spark in the smoke. That's a good way to get away from a situation like that. Good way to just dissect, but that's sound cue. He's going to relay that information to his teammate that is possibly in cat, but a mistake made. And just patience as ever. Oh, he just needed his toe. He just wanted an inkling. And it's planted for Cat. If he gets this, there we go. That's what he's waiting for. The patience, the precision, the focus, the concentration.
And getting that even the flash out just to make sure none of his dead enemies will kill him while he's defusing.
He's just wasting money now. Come on.
Well, he has 12K. He's got everything to waste.
Yeah, that's like, you know, buying a full feast at the shop worth like 100 Rand. You give it 200 notes and so you keep the change.
Yep, that's exactly what he did there. And last round of the half, looking clinical for Paul Roos here. They're looking poised to take the second map and win this best of 3 series 2-0. A quick A tries to come out, but that nade, or the molly rather, slows that down. The nade will come through. If that nade comes through, there's a little bit through the smoke. Nade comes through, that's going to do a lot of damage. It really does, taking a lot of players below that threshold. PC Boy, he capitalizes on that, but Goat finds one for himself. The flash comes out, God knows, dead's through. Fetzian's there to trade, 3v3 now on the retake. Fetzian finding one. Oh, he nearly gets the second as well.
Yeah, everything is going their way at the moment. It's like they could, even they make mistakes, even those mistakes sort of translate themselves into, you know, an opportunity for them to capitalize on, which is always working out. 11 rounds on the board. We spoke about how the terrorist side is a lot stronger than the attacking side is a lot stronger than the defensive side. And I think Benedicts
Yep.
Silence is the best. I use the A1 personally. It's just, you can control the bullets a lot more better. The bullets don't get shown when you shoot through smoke. There's none of that jazz. None of that jazz.
I use the A4. I just think, I think I'm on the other side of the board.
You want more bullets or what?
I want more bullets.
All right.
My aim's not as great
True
as it
American supporter.
Well, here comes the A push. Paul Roos on site already. Util is out. Okay. Electric's finding an opening. That is a headshot there onto the Goat. And the smokes are there, the Util's there, they're not getting back on side, retakes on, the spam through the smoke comes in. Paul Roos, they have a great hold. Prawn though, has something to say with the USP on the Glock. Senior's there to trade as well, and now it's a 3v3, the coach onto the teammate. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, it just depends where the bomb is planted. Oh man, it's planted in such a hectic spot here. They all have to zerk down. The player picks out Palace just in time. 1v3, no kit, just dreams right now for Hazardan, and Savage crushes them all. 12 rounds on the board, and that pistol one was oh so important for them.
Yeah, those faces on the boys from St. Benedicts show it all. They needed that pistol round. They really needed to take that pistol round to grab a hold in this game, because right now they're going to be 14 rounds or 10 rounds in the deficit before they actually find a first buy.
Indeed, and you can just see how desperate times are. They're forcing into this with deagles and grenades, and they want AWPs, they want all the rifles that they need for the next round, so they kind of have to double save. Next round, they will still be light and neutral if need be, good flashes just to take Jin off the angle, but this setup was kind of nice to see. 2 kills netting the side of the CT team, but 2 traded back, and 2v2 at the moment. The deagles are quite strong if they keep exposing themselves to it, so they kind of need to just barrel down and just anchor down on that A side. Need to try cross towards triple. He's trying his best, but the swing coming out of CT spawn is going to net them a 1v1 trade in a 1v1 matchup here. No kit, and the bomb's not even planted for the player they ramp, but the MAC-10 with no armor makes you squishy.
Does, and that aim punch comes out on top. 13 rounds now. Paul Roos creeping their way ever so closely towards this 2-0 victory, and they only need 3 more rounds to do so. Now, it is that buy round. Or, sorry, next round would be a buy. They need to save because they bought deagles.
Yeah.
But they do. So look at the nades, right? If these nades are put in the right place, they'll net themselves at least a kill. So
especially they ramp, if they nade a ramp, because that's the most likely place to go. Fetchon, he's the spray down. It's too tough when they're not dispersed, when they're dispersed like that, when they're picking up middle. Now they lose an AK for the efforts, but they need to just lock out this A side as it is clean. Information has been relayed, and Savage, he's going to hear the player running on cats, and he's going to delete that.
He is, and now 3 players left. St. Benedicts. Jin has retrieved an AK for his efforts, so it's going to make things a lot easier, but Electrix is there. He's too wiser to...
Yeah, and I guess like he kind of wanted to get back into this round. He kind of wanted to just box the magic there, pull an ace out of sleeve, because looking at the scoreboard, Jay, you need to try everything and anything you can. Relying on the next round, you're really going to have money, so why not go for it? So maybe recovering that AK is one of the best calls they can make. Good molly, just to help him get across, and no, it's not going to work. It's not.
No, it's not going to work. And Savage is there, finding the last 2 kills now. 14 rounds on the board. Look at Paul Roos, guys. There, they are looking poised and ready to take this.
Agreed, and perhaps they've run out of steam, St. Benedicts. You can just see a lot of carelessness coming out of them that we didn't see yesterday, and unusual plays, individual plays, and they need to just maybe take a tack pause, get their heads together, and refocus, and understand that every round matters. It's still winnable. 16-14s, I have seen comebacks in these situations. Savage.
There's double up setup as well. Yeah, I like this buy from St. Benedicts. Throwing your everything into it. At this point, right, if you lose this round anyways, you're going to match point before you can buy. And at this point, yeah, the double up setup here, I think it's going to work. But Fetzian, he gets one. Goat trades it out, though. That puts them in the man deficit. Paul Roos, God's not dead, finds another one. The up coming into play. And Senior, he's going to try and peek the close angle. Not going to find anything. 2v4. Have mid control. The bomb is moving up Cat, but Hazardan is here. The smoke comes in through the windows, so they don't have to worry about that, but the connector angle's there. Still leg coming out. Taking a nade out is Hazardan. He's going to find one. Can he find the second? No, because God's not there is there, and that's the round St. Benedict's needed.
They needed AWPs, it seems. That's all they needed.
All they needed, yeah.
Double saved earlier on and not forced button, those decos, those grenades. They could have had it sooner. They could have limited the deficit, because right now they have so many rounds to climb back from.
They do.
9 rounds. That's a lot to look at. But they have to just chop it down into 3 separate rounds, forcing them into eco at least twice. As you can see, the money is broken. They win this round, and that's 2 rounds from there, realistically speaking.
It is, and I like what you said there, making sure their mentality is there around how they're going to achieve this monumental goal that they have in front of them. 9 rounds is nothing to shy away from, folks. It's a big task for them to do. That nade is a good first step, doing a lot of damage here through the smoke. Prawn can't find anything, does a little bit more chip damage, and that is going to force Paul Roos to step back a bit and go back towards, I think the play here is to go all the way around. I don't like them going through lowers.
I'm okay with this, actually, if they go through lowers, because there's no one really holding connector and window. So if they can boost into window, but there we go, first picked up is for the player in jungle into the lurker and Palace Fetcook. But if they can boost into middle window, it could work out for them. But these AWPs are so, I mean, they're quite mobile if you look at how they keep moving around.
Well, Hazardan's going to find himself one here again. He's pushed up very aggressively. He's going to spot the whole team. If he jumps up on that, he does. He finds one. PC Boy goes down, and now just 2 players left. Jin with the AWP on Savage, and there's Hazardan finding the next one. And this is St. Benedict's clawing their way back into this game, and that is Paul Roos. They're going to need to save again.
Agreed. It's kind of what you needed. You needed to force them into an eco. This round, they get a free round out of them. That's a 7-round deficit. They've already got 2 rounds from that. So they've closed the gap, and they keep focusing on each round, and they're concentrating on each round. It's going to be good.
It is going to be good. And again, the save coming out, just that. I like it. I don't think it's anything to it, though. Jin with the AWP, he's going to find one. Can't skeet shoot one out of the air. And there is the push coming through. Goats, he's going to find all of the players, and that is everyone dead. The hold is strong from St. Benedict's, and that is the 7th round on the board for them.
Not a single player dropped from St. Benedict's, and all of them adjusted them quite accurately. The player at CT spawn put down a molly on default, although they definitely wanted to stop that plant, needed to worry about his life first. So big ups from them. 7 rounds on the board like expected.
It is.
That's a buy from Paul Roos. If the bomb didn't go down, they wouldn't have been able to get all the utility that they have right now. Yeah. So they did well in doing that, I guess.
Paul Roos needs to adjust to the holds here. They need to. I think they just need to try a standard execute onto A, which is what they're going to do here now. They need to go back to the basics. Make sure that they're not giving any free information away. And, well, there is the execute coming in. The smokes are down. Are they going to push out? They do. The AWPs are getting cut off. So the player triple goes down by Savage, and that is the A site hold. I don't think. Oh, through the smoke, Electrics. What is smoke these days? These kids are getting smoke kills left, right, and center, and that is 4v3 now. Prawn finding one in return. That is Electrics down the man with the heavy hitter. There we go. Senor Geraldo, Fetsian trades as well, and that is 3v1.
It's God's not dead, all by himself. No one to talk to in team speak. He's stuck behind the smoke as well. He needs to try his best, and it's match point potentially on the horizon. There's still a chance here, recall.
There is still a chance now, picking up the AK, and the time is ticking away. The util is there. He could use the smokes and flashes to his advantage, but the rotate around Fetsian. 15th round match and a game.
So everyone kind of knows their job. The utilities landing, the flashes are there, the mollies are there, despite the defense and Benedicts is, mustering up that A side needs to hold if they stand any chance moving forward. As you can see, they are taking mid control, potentially splitting into that B side. But Sean, that molly isn't deep enough, and don't.
No, again, so this is again what we saw from St. Benedicts. They're trying to peek smokes without any util. That's not going to work. Your AWP is posting that smoke every single time. It's not going to come through for you unless you throw a smoke or a flash or a molly to get that AWP out of position. Just use your util. I mean, you're dying with $1,000 worth of util. A flash would have netted you a kill.
And if anything, if you're going to peek an angle like that, why not just wide swing? At least it's a 4v4 right now. Senor Gerald. It's very tough to pronounce that. It's not easy off the bat.
Not easy.
Spanish, but PC boy picking up a kill there. Tererapa goes in the A ramp, 3v3 at the moment, and this does favor the terrorist side. It is match point looming, and Senor. Fat Sean, not Senor. It's taken down.
Fetsian. Oh my word.
Fetsian, he's done. He wants to go home. He wants to flash that medal in front of all the girls at the club.
And the GOAT is now left. One player standing in Paul Roos's way of taking this title. The AUG, the flash and the grenade. GOAT has it all to do. He's going to peek into this angle. Gets chipped down a bit, but there it is. Fetsian is there to close it off. And Paul Roos take it 2-0. Convincing victory for the High School Esports League. And that is it, ladies and gents. Paul Roos win it 2-0.
Again, Paul Roos, they played phenomenally throughout this tournament. They haven't dropped a single map throughout this entire series, and it's insane to see that they're getting better and better. I'm not too sure how many players are still left them at Trek, Warren, grade 11, etc. So when they come back next year, they kind of got to be strong. They got something to play for. Commiserations to St. Benedicts. They tried their hardest. They tried their best. God's not dead. Did what he can. At the end of the day, it's a team game, so he kind of needed others to just chime into the party and help him out. But again, well done to Paul Roos. Not only are they good on the rugby field, but they're good on the PCs.
On the PCs, it seems as well. Yeah, very well played to that team. They take it with the whole tournament with 100% win rate. I mean, that's not something that you see every day. So very well done to them. And that is it from us here, bringing you the action from the High School Esports League.
I've enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed crossing the High School League. And, again, I've got a lot of scouting talent to look out for. And the Big Five Academy. So it's nice to see that the grassroots are getting better and better. And, just some workshops now and then should help them progress. And a lot of glimpses of hope for the future.
It is. There is a lot of glimpses of hope, a lot of talent here in the high school scene. This just shows there is some depth in the CSGO scene in South Africa, which is really, really nice to see. And there's a lot of upcoming talent that can come
and Paul Roos, at least now they get the right to boast for the rest of the year for like a whole 365 days that they are the best. They've proven that they are the best over here.
They have.
And they're going to receive their medals a bit later. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Lighters, TZ.
And for the last time, actually.
For the last time, actually. He's retiring again.
Coming out of retirement to cast for the gents. But thank you so much, Lighters. It was a pleasure casting with you. And thank you so much for joining us. This is it from us, the High School Esports League. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your weekend.